To the NFL, Sam Darnold is a Seahawk, agreeing to a 3-year deal worth $100 million. That includes 55 M's in guarantees. The move comes 3 days after trading Geno Smith to the Raiders did Seattle. For Darnold, it's a reunion with offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak, who was with Darnold as the passing game coordinator back in 2023 with San Francisco. The New York Jets also getting their Mr. Right now. Justin Fields getting a 2-year deal worth $40 million. That includes $30 million in guarantees. The new staff in New York has plenty of experience watching Fields, as Aaron Glenn is the new head coach after seeing Fields when both were in the NFC North with the Lions and Bears respectively. So what does this mean for Aaron Rodgers? Here's Adam Schefter.
As we wait to see which quarterback moves unfold next, it's not out of the question that the Pittsburgh Steelers and New York Jets could unofficially wind up trading quarterbacks. When Justin Fields went to the New York Jets, that created an opening in Pittsburgh. And Aaron Rodgers has emerged as a possibility to be the Steelers' starting quarterback next season. The Steelers are waiting to hear from Rodgers. Nobody knows exactly what he will do and what he will decide, but Russell Wilson also is in play. And right now, it feels as if Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson are two primary options for the Pittsburgh Steelers and New York Giants. Wherever one quarterback goes, the other quarterback could land in the other spot. But everybody's waiting on Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson as two quarterback dominoes.
SportsCenter AM rolling on this morning. We've got trades, departures, and deals on the first day of NFL free agency on Monday. And the question now, what are the Texans doing? The Commanders getting help for Jayden Daniels by acquiring a 5-time Pro Bowl tackle in Laramie Tunsil from Houston. It's a second major trade on offense for Washington this offseason. Also acquiring Deebo Samuel from the Niners, but the Texans already had offensive line issues. As the Rams say hello to Devontae Adams, they will say goodbye to Cooper Kupp. Sources telling Adam Schefter LA will release the wideout if they can't find a trade partner. Kupp was the NFL Offensive Player of the Year and Super Bowl MVP for the 2021 season. Eagles losing 2 key defensive figures from their Super Bowl win. Josh Sweat and Milton Williams getting 4-year deals with the Cardinals and Patriots, respectively. They combined 4.5 sacks of Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowl 59 alone. And the Chargers reaching an agreement with former Steelers running back Najee Harris on a 1-year deal. He started all 68 games for the Steelers over the last 4 years and has rushed for at least 1,000 yards in all 4 NFL seasons. Elsewhere around the league, Chris Godwin signing a new deal with the Buccaneers that will keep him in where? Tampa, you got it. For 3 more years. Listen, if you get that wrong, there's some dudes who work in this building who will let you know about it. Josh Palmer is headed from sunny LA to snowy Buffalo to provide another outlet for Josh Allen, and the 49ers offseason purge continues as they informed All-Pro fullback Kyle Juszczyk of his.
We got some quarterbacks going coast to coast. Sam Darnold, he's a Seahawk, agreeing to a 3-year deal worth $100 million. That includes 55 M's in guarantees. The move comes 3 days after trading Geno Smith to the Raiders. For Darnold, it's a reunion with offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak, who was with Darnold as the passing game coordinator back in 2023 in San Francisco. Meanwhile, the Jets got their Mr. Right now. Justin Fields getting a 2-year deal worth $40 million. That includes $30 million in guarantees. The new staff in New York has plenty of experience watching Fields, as Aaron Glenn, the head coach now, after seeing Fields when both were in the NFC North with the Lions and Bears, respectively. Let's dive deep. NFL insider Dan Graziano and NFL analyst Teddy Brew joining the program now. Fellas, good to see you. 2 quarterbacks off the board. Sources saying Aaron Rodgers emerging as an option for the Steelers. Dan, what's the likelihood we see Rodgers in Pittsburgh next season?
Decent likelihood, Gary. I think that the Steelers and the Giants are 2 teams that are very interested in Aaron Rodgers. I would think both teams want to have a resolution sooner rather than later, so it's not out of the question he could have a new home at some point today. Obviously, as it says here on the screen, it can't be official until tomorrow, but obviously, based on what we all saw yesterday, agreements get found out about. So, yeah, I think he's the top option for the Steelers with Justin Fields no longer on the board. I think he's the top option for the Giants with Matthew Stafford no longer on the board, and we'll see what he ultimately decides.
Teddy, to Dan's point here, there's top option, then there's best fit. Where's the best fit for Rodgers, in your opinion?
I mean, I think Pittsburgh is a fit just because Rodgers would have so much to work with. I mean, to have DK Metcalf there after they got him yesterday, and also George Pickens, that I'd love to see Aaron Rodgers give it another go. I think he has more football left in him. I think at the end of last season, you started to see a little bit of it. I mean, him paired with Mike Tomlin as a head coach, a coach that has a firm grip on the culture and his locker room. But, I mean, is Aaron ready to make a commitment? I mean, a commitment to the team that probably means, yeah, you got to get your butt to minicamp and get with your new team and get to know your teammates. I think that's the first question I'd ask him. If I were Mike Tomlin and the Steelers or any team that are entertaining it, it's like, are you with us all the way? That's what I'd like to know. And I think Aaron Rodgers is ready to make a commitment to fix what he went through the last couple of years.
Man, I can just picture him just slinging it all over the field. DK Metcalf, George Pickens, throw him out, toss it deep. Meanwhile, in the NFC, Laramie Tunsil traded to the Commanders. Dan, what more can you tell us about how this move came to be?
A lot of people surprised by this move, but in Houston, I think they're looking at a 31-year-old tackle who's still excellent, but at some point in the next year or two is going to want another contract extension. And Houston, coming off a year in which their pass protection was terrible, feels like it has to sort of reset and rebuild on the offensive line. So given all those factors, they decide to make a surprising and kind of controversial move, I'm sure, in Houston. He's going to be tough to replace. Washington, it's pretty easy to see what they're doing. They're trying to maximize Jayden Daniels' rookie contract window. Obviously, they wanted to keep the offensive line strong in front of him. There's no left tackle on the market that's as good as Tunsil, and for the price of a second and third round draft pick, taking on a $21 million salary, it was something that Washington obviously was happy to do. But from Houston's standpoint, the picks they get back, they're going to have to use those to help find a new left tackle and rebuild that offensive line.
Yeah, Teddy, to Dan's point, what does this mean for Jayden Daniels in Washington?
Yeah, I mean, Adam Peters, general manager, I mean, this has been a 2-year thing in terms of rebuilding their offensive line. He knows what wins football games, and he knows how he was overpowered at times. I mean, to have Jayden Daniels, now an offensive line that can be one of the better units in the league, I mean, I still think Laramie Tunsil's still a really good player, and he is going to help Jayden Daniels along with Deebo Samuel. I mean, what can Deebo Samuel and offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury do with this type of combination? Because, I mean, Jayden, it's going to be hard to do better than he did to an encore performance of his rookie year last year, which is one of the greatest I've ever seen. So start, though, by getting him a left tackle that can protect him. Great move by the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, made it to the Final Four in the NFL, their first championship game appearance since 1991. Agency was busy, and for any team that missed out on a quarterback, Steelers, there are still options. Gary, what's the cell service out there at the barn?
Pretty good.
There's a GOAT whose phone could ring today. Aaron Rodgers has emerged as an option for the Steelers, that according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. ESPN's Dan Orlovsky is in the room. Dan, what do you okay, flat out, we're not supposed to ask yes or no questions, but do you want to see Rodgers in Pittsburgh next season?
Yeah, sure. I think it makes sense for both the team and the player. This is a football team that just gave away a third-round pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers and gave DK Metcalf $150 million. I want to make sure that I maximize that player and everything that it took for me to get him. Here's the reality. Aaron started to play better last season. It was winning football at the quarterback position.